Okay, so this won't actually open. I think I can't. Am I being stupid? Am I being thick here? Naff, please. And welcome to another Ponytails with Kellyanne video. This is my long-awaited Q&A. I've had quite a few messages from a lot of you, so thank you so much for everybody, both on YouTube and on Instagram, for getting involved and kind of asking me questions. And I hope to kind of get through as many questions as I can in today's video. I've got my tack. I've got my cleaner. Well, this is actually the Naff leather food, so I actually cleaned my tack the other day, so it's not really that dirty. However, my bridle is a little bit dry, I've noticed, just because we've had some nice warm weather. So I just want to give it a bit of a condition more than anything. And then my bit's quite dirty, so I'm going to take that off and put that in some water, which I've got some hot water here for that. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get our tack cleaned whilst I answer some of your questions. So the first question I've got, and I've got them all written down on my pad here because I use my camera on my phone for filming, so I couldn't get them off of there. So if you see me looking down here, it's because I'm looking at my pad. So the first question is, how long have you been riding? So I started riding when I was 3. That was kind of my my nan and my mum actually went and took me down to a local riding school just down the road from where my nan and granddad lived. And funnily enough, that's actually the house that I'm in now. It was actually my nan and granddad's house, and there's now my dad's house. So my mum and dad's house. Yeah, I have been in this house my entire life pretty much, which is why it's a slightly different change of scenery. I'm out in the garden, which is quite nice. It's actually quite a nice day today. A little bit windy, but not too bad. But yeah, so they used to take me down there when I was about 3. And I used to kind of just do 15-minute hacks just locally around the town where we live. And yeah, it kind of started from there really. So all the way through till I was about 12 or 13, I would ride once a week at kind of the local riding schools, and obviously would do own a pony days and things like that. Okay, my bit's off. And yeah, it kind of started from there really. And then when I got to 13, obviously I was doing quite a few different activities by that point, and my mum basically said, like, you've got to pick one really. I was doing swimming to quite a high level actually, and obviously horse riding, and they said, mum said, you know, pick one, and then, you know, you can take that on and we can continue to do that with you properly. And I chose horses. And then that was when I was about 12. I then got my first job at a local riding school where I was working for about 14p an hour, and I used to have to work over 40 hours for a free lesson. My dad used to drop me off there about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I used to come home after my lesson, which was usually about 3 or half 3. And yeah, I used to work there all day. And my mum and dad basically said, you know, we think that she's in this for the long haul, and decided to, that Christmas, so my 13th birthday is in December, and then that same month in the Christmas, they got me my first horse, which was an amazing gift, one I'll never ever forget. It still gets me emotional now. Unfortunately, I had that horse until he passed away. I lost him about 6 years ago, which was really tough. But yeah, he was an amazing horse. He was not a first horse. I think a lot of people with their first horse kind of get a little bit overhorsed, and he was certainly that. But yeah, he was great. I absolutely adored him. He taught me so much. And then yeah, I got Zeus, obviously. Okay, so this won't actually open. I think I can't. Am I being stupid? Am I being thick here? Nath, please tell me. Am I being thick? It won't open. Ow. So I'm going to take the lid off and do it that way. Oh god, I'm gonna spill this absolutely everywhere. Yeah. Anyway, we'll try and do it with the lid off, which is always quite nervous because I'm a really, really clumsy person. But anyway, so yeah, so that was the first question. Let's put a little bit of this onto here. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it actually smells really nice. Just add it in like that. Ooh. Oh, guys, I'm really pleased with this. Look how shiny it makes it look. Oh, I'm well chuffed with that. Oh, I'm gonna have a look. Zeus is gonna look so posh in his shiny bridle. Anyway, so my next question. Is Zeus your first horse? Okay, so I kind of answered this in my last question, but no, Zeus is not my first horse. He is my second horse. I had both of them for a time. So my old horse was called Leo, and I think Zeus came along in 2011. And Leo passed away. So Leo was probably about 14 or 15 when I got Zeus. Leo passed away when he was about 18. It's kind of undocumented because he was kind of born way before passports were really a thing. So he was passported, but by us, and we didn't really know a lot of his history because he was kind of brought through like a dealer in Bury St Edmunds. But yes, no, Zeus is not my first horse. Zeus is my second horse. However, Zeus is the first and only horse that I have ever broken, and kind of done it all myself. So yeah, it's been a learning thing for me. Yeah, it's been a learning curve. That's the word. That was the word I was after. I've been a learning curve, having a youngster and kind of bringing on a youngster, but one that I will never ever regret. I love my Zeusy very much. He's a very good boy. I'm very lucky, and I actually, even to break, he was very, very easy. So I'm forever grateful for having quite an easy horse like that. This stuff is actually really smells really nice, and it goes on really nicely actually. You don't need a lot, and it goes quite a long way, and I can already see my tack getting softer and sucking up all that nice condition, all that nice moisture, which is good. It needs that. So anyway, next question. How old is Zeus and how long have you had him? Okay, so Zeus is 11. He was born in April. So he was born in 2011, so yeah, he's 11 years old now. I did do a 10th birthday party for him on the yard in lockdown, which was really cute. Well, kind of lockdown. Yeah, I think we were in lockdown last April in 21. It's so hard. We were in so many lockdowns. It's hard to kind of keep track of them all. But yeah, so that was really nice. And it was a really big kind of celebration because I'm on a livery yard, and I've been on my livery yard for about 12 years. So I got there with Leo about a year before I got Zeus. So, and Zeus moved there. So Zeus is 11, and I've had him. I've actually owned Zeus since he was 4 months old, but I've been looking after Zeus. I looked after Zeus for a month before that, so I've actually been looking after Zeus since he was 3 months old. So yeah, I've had Zeus his entire life pretty much. Even when he was first born, I saw him. The lady in my other video who fitted his saddle the other day, or done his saddle check, she actually was the first person to see him. She's seen him since he was 2 days old, and I saw him a little while after that. But yeah, he has been with me his entire life, and I will continue to have him in our family for the rest of his life. He's an amazing little horse. I'm really, really lucky to have had him. Leo was unfortunately diagnosed with something called degenerative joint disease, which wasn't the thing that unfortunately was the reason why I put him down. It wasn't that at all. However, it was the reason why I had to kind of stop riding him and retire him quite young. So Zeus was always that project pony that was gonna see me through and take the pressure off of Leo, so that Leo can nicely retire and enjoy a more relaxed life, which he did. Even though Zeus wasn't ridden, obviously he took a lot of like training, a lot of groundwork. Anyone who's got a youngster, especially one that young, yeah, Zeus has been on our yard with me since he was about 6 months old, after he got cut. And yeah, there's a little story there behind the Zeusy. So Zeus actually didn't have the easiest start in life. He was actually taken away from his mum at 3 months old. So when I first started looking after Zeus, he'd already been taken away from his mum, because the people that owned the mum, it was their first horse. The mum was their first horse, and nobody knew that she was pregnant. So Zeus was a bit of a surprise, and yeah, he was not the easiest of youngsters. He was very boisterous. He's an Andalusian, so he's very kind of like footy. I call it footy. They're very expressive with their feet, are Andalusians, and Zeus is still that way a little bit now, but obviously not quite so bad. So yeah, so he caused a couple of injuries to the guy that owned him, because it was his daughter's horse. And obviously Zeus was not something that they planned on having, and yeah, they were just a little bit inexperienced at the time. There was no like malice or anything there, but Zeus was unfortunately taken away too young, and because they didn't have the correct kind of help with Zeus and having a foal, when I got Zeus, he was really, really upset. He was kind of missing his mum, which is understandable, but because they'd already been separated, I didn't want to confuse the matter more by putting them back together and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so Zeus, I became Zeus's mum effectively, and I had to teach him all that groundwork. So yeah, we do have quite a strong bond. He still tests me, but breaking him and everything was always very, very easy, because I'd maintained that, you know, he trusted me, and we had a really good relationship. We do have a really good relationship even now. So I'm very, very lucky to have him, and I'm very, very lucky that it worked out for us. It doesn't work out for everybody with horses when they have a trauma so young, but luckily I put a lot of groundwork in when he was a really small baby, and it paid off when he got bigger and when he got older. So I'm really, really lucky for that. Oh, this is going really quickly actually. I'm nearly done. I've got a cloth, and I'm going to wipe it all over with the cloth just to make sure that it kind of there's no kind of residue left on the leather. But actually, it's all looking really nice and really shiny, and actually I think this stuff is going to be so good for the leather. It's going to soften it, and it's going to make it look so nice. So yeah, I'm really pleased, because this bridle is actually Zeus's only ever bridle. Same as his saddle. His saddle is pretty much his only ever saddle, and I bought them for them to last him for a really long time, and obviously they have done that. I broke Zeus when he was 5, so they've lasted a really long time, and they will continue to last me a really long time, which is good. Okay, so next question. What made you go into YouTube? Okay, this is a good question actually. So what made me go into YouTube? So I've never really been into YouTube. I've not been a YouTube kind of person until probably this year. I kind of got into it, and I kind of followed a few people. Obviously This Is Me is the main one, but there's lots of other YouTubers that I follow. Riding with Charlotte, I don't know whether anybody's ever heard of her. She's another really good one that I actually quite enjoy watching. But yeah, so, and I kind of thought to myself, so I went through quite something really sad at the beginning of the year. I won't go into too much detail because obviously it is quite an upsetting subject, and if any of my followers are going through any form of grief at the moment, you can kind of turn off now for a couple of minutes and whilst I talk about it, but I won't go into too much detail anyway. But back in Christmas Eve just gone, my mum found out that her cancer had returned, and was going to go through treatment and everything, and we found out in January that her cancer was kind of, it wasn't able to be treated any further, which was a really hard thing to go through as a family, and we actually lost her about a month later in February. My mum passed away at our local hospice, which they were fantastic. They were so good at looking after us. Mum was in there for about a week, and we will forever be grateful for that week that they gave us there. We were able to be a family. We had some laughs and some jokes with Mum as well. She was there, she saw it all, and she was involved in some of it, and it was really lovely. But because she was the person that got me into horses, and she was the person that encouraged me with the horses, and you know, she was a typical horsey mum. She was very involved. I used to message her daily about the horses and what rug to do, you know, that age-old question, what rug should I wear, what should I do? And losing her like that was difficult, and I thought, I saw all these people on YouTube and they had such a lovely kind of following, and I kind of thought to myself, I really want to be a part of that. I would like to have people that I can chat to about horses, because although my sister is into horses, but she, you know, she's got her own life. My partner doesn't really know much about horses. He does try, and he's getting really involved, which is really lovely of him. But it's nice to have a community of people where I can kind of ask some questions, and you know, be with like-minded people that enjoy the sport like I do. And that's really nice to kind of have, and that's the reason why I got into YouTube. It's more to kind of find some friends online and have things in common and talk about horses, which is yeah, which is really nice. It's a lovely community, the horse community, and I'm on a livery yard where there's lots of lovely people as well, and yeah, I just want to surround myself with those kinds of people, both online with you guys and at home. So yes, anyway, people can turn on this now if they want to unmute me from the trigger kind of grief side. So is YouTube and social media your job? No, it's not my job. I do have a Monday to Friday job. I am training to be an accountant, a fully qualified accountant. At the moment I'm nearly fully qualified, but I do work in accounting. So yes, so I do have a full-time job. It is very full-on, but it's very nice. I work with a really nice bunch of people, and yeah, so no, YouTube is not my job. I would love it to one day be my job, but I don't know whether that'll ever happen. But yeah, it's nice to have this side outside of my Monday to Friday, so, and have different people to talk to. Okay, next question. How many animals do you have? So I have 3 animals. I have Zeus, which obviously you guys see quite a lot. Roxy, who has over the last couple of weeks appeared quite a bit on my socials, on my social media, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see her on there. She's a a really lovely little dog. I've had her, so she's quite old now, she's 14, and she has been my dog, well, I've owned her since I was 19, so she has been there through all of Zeus's life, and been through there for all of that, and she's kind of taken a little bit of a step back from the whole horsey kind of yard dog side of it now, but she's doing really, really well. She's really good. She's really healthy. She had an operation on her eye this year, so yeah, and then but yeah, she's fully recovered from that now, so that's good. And then yeah, my other animal is I have a little rabbit. I rescued him nearly 3 years ago now. It'll be 3 years, I think, in 3 years in November. And he's really sweet, actually. I never actually intended on rescuing him and keeping him. He was in the adoption section at Pets at Home, and had been kind of beaten up by one of the other rabbits, and had a few kind of cuts and wounds on him, and I kind of wanted to take him home and make him feel a bit better, get him better, and then the plan was to find him a home to go to, and actually me and Chris both really enjoyed having him around, and he lives out in the garden, and Roxy loves him. He's really, really sweet. He's fully litter trained, everything, so he's so easy to look after. So yeah, so the plan is to kind of do some more videos with him, but he was a little bit under the weather the last couple of weeks. We've been away on holiday, and he kind of gets a bit upset when we leave him, even though we have somebody come and check him and do him exactly the same as what I do. It's not me, and he is very, very sensitive, which is partly also why we haven't got rid of him, because I don't really want to cause him any distress or upset. So yeah, so he is now a fully fledged member of the team, and he's called Shadow, and he's a beautiful little grey and white bunny. And actually, yeah, he's really, really sweet. There was talk about getting another bunny for him to keep him company, but because of the fight that he had with the other rabbit, I don't really want to get him another bunny in case they fight or he doesn't get on with them, and then I'll end up with 2 bunnies, and it just kind of snowballs from there, really. But yeah, so 3 animals: Zeus, Roxy, and Shadow. Okay. Oh, and my final question, which is quite a good one actually, and I have finished now. So this, ta-da, it's quite nice. And then I've got my bit in here, which is stewing away nicely, and a little toothbrush. This is my little hack. So I just put some hot water, just plain hot water, in a bucket, and leave my bit to soak, and then just give it a scrub a dub with the toothbrush, and it all kind of comes off, so that's quite nice. Anyway, my last question is, if you can have any animal, what would it be? God. Well, I have always wanted some ducks, but I kind of don't own any ducks, but there's ducks on the yard that we have at the moment, and I feed them daily, and there's 5 of them, and I have named them all, and they know the sound of my voice in my car, so I kind of would take it as that I own them, even though I don't. They are wild ducks, and they will emigrate, I'm sure, in the winter, because here in the UK it gets quite horrible in the winter, so I don't blame them for going somewhere a bit nicer. But yeah, they so I would have said ducks, but I feel like I already have some at the moment. So if there's an animal that I don't currently have any dealings with that I would like, it would probably be a goat. I've always wanted a goat. I don't know why. I love them. Love goats. Or chickens, actually. I would quite fancy my hand at chickens, but I have looked after people's chickens before, and they can sometimes be a bit awkward. So I don't know whether I would, and I don't have the room for chickens. If I could find somewhere, if anybody's offering to kind of get me some animals, feel free. But yeah, if I could have any goat, if I could have any animal, it would probably be a goat, because yeah, I quite like goats. So yeah, there you go. That's a little bit about me, but I think that's probably most of the questions that I was going to answer today. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, my tack is all nourished. I really recommend the NAF leather food. If you guys, I just got it from my local tack shop, so it's probably available in most local tack shops, and it was really, really good actually. My tack is lovely and shiny, and hopefully once it sucks up in all that moisture, it is going to be amazing. It certainly looks much better. And my bit's all done, so I'm just going to quickly pop my bridle back together and put it away, and then that's all done. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new or have not done so already, please like and subscribe, because I really love this community and I really want to help build it and be a part, so I can do more videos for you guys. If you haven't done so also, please follow me on my Instagram, which is @ponytails_with_Kellyanne, because again, I put a lot on there and you get to see all the animals on the daily. So yeah, please follow me, subscribe, and I really do appreciate it. I hope this video hasn't gone on too long and you're all kind of enjoying it and enjoying what I'm doing. And any more questions, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments box, because I will love to do another one of these little stable talks, and we can clean more tack together, because there's certainly an abundance of tack that us horsey girls have that we have to clean. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.